Hey guys, it's me, the Amazing World of Autistic Fanboy 2002 here. Today I'm reviewing Maze Runner The Scorch Trials, came out in 2015. Now before I start the review, I just want to say I haven't seen this movie in like 10 years. It's been 10 years since I saw this film. So I saw this film back in September 2015, 10 years ago. So you have Thomas, Mina, Newt and Teresa. And that girl right there, forgotten her name. Because it's actually been a while since I've watched the Maze Runner films. Haven't watched them in a long time, so the Scorch Trials, it tells the story. It takes place after the events of Maze Runner, the first Maze Runner movie, where they land into a base and they meet up with this character called Jensen. And then all of a sudden they realise that they're hiding something and they're not saying who they think they are. And then they walk into a secret lab where they see that those bodies were being drained. And realises that there's something inside them that Wicked wants, something in their blood. And then they have to escape the base. And then they rescue Teresa and got out of there into the open. And then they have to run away from them. And then they meet, and they went through the mall, only to find out it's been abandoned. When Mino turned on the light, it activated the cranks, so yeah. And the cranks started attacking Thomas, Mino, Newt and the gang, and then they have to run away. And then they managed to escape the mall, and then during the day, Winston got bitten and he's about to turn into a crank. The only way to stop him from transforming is by doing something, like sacrificing himself. And then, as they walked on through the Scorch, a desert wasteland, and then when they see that walk through the abandoned building, they meet up with this new lad that they escaped with. And then they went into this abandoned warehouse, only to find out that there's so many cranks being chained up. And then all of a sudden they meet up with this girl. I don't need to keep saying all of a sudden. Then they meet up with this girl who is Jorge's daughter, and then all of a sudden Jorge interrogates Thomas and the gang, and they say that they want to send them back to Wicked, and then Barkley backstabbed Jorge because he was working for Jensen, and then only to realise that Barkley was a spy. Yeah. Well, thankfully, Jorge and her daughter and Thomas and the gang managed to escape, but all of a sudden they had to split up. And then Thomas and Jorge's daughter have to find a way to get back to the others. And then as they did that, they encounter the cranks. Sorry, that's a notification from my YouTube friend, Princess Eva 2003. She's a great YouTuber. And then all of a sudden, they get attacked by the cranks. And then, as they manage to get away from the cranks, all of a sudden, the girl's called Brenda. All of a sudden, Brenda gets bitten by the crank. And then Thomas managed to smash the window, leaving the crank to fall. And then during roaming around the Scorch, and then they meet up with this guy, and then Thomas was drugged, and then the group were back together, and then Jorge interrogates the man, and then they get on the car and they meet up with the people that rebelled against Wicked, and then all of a sudden Wicked attacks the base, and then they start fighting, and then Jensen and Paige retreat along with Teresa, and Mio gets taken, and then the movie ends when they about to stop Wicked, and that's how the movie ends. So I'd say I'll say about, let me talk about Maze Runner the Scorch Child. When I first watched it, I did like it, but when I look to it now, I'd say, my personal opinion, it's not as good as the first movie, but I would say not the best sequel. I'll say the best sequel for me, I'd say, let me think of what sequel there is. Sorry, just thinking of what best sequel for me would be. Oh yeah, I got it. Avengers: Age of Ultron. That's the best sequel of 2015 for me. So yeah, it came out the same year as Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, and of course the first Goosebumps movie. Yes, the first Goosebumps movie I have yet to review on my channel. I'm still working on my review on Jurassic Park, but I just feel like reviewing Jurassic Park 2, sorry. I've already reviewed the first one. It's just, I just fancy reviewing Maze Runner the Scorch Trials. But I'm planning to give 28 Days Later a watch so I can review it on my channel. So I would give this movie maybe a 5 out of 10. Sorry. I give Maze Runner the Scorch Trials a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I've always said that. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for my review on Jurassic Park 2.